Welcome back to New Comic Book Day here on Comic Vantage. This is an episode where I go to my local LCS, I pick up some comic books, bring them back, give them a read, tell you all about them. But before we get into that, I actually want to do a special shout out today to a channel that I've actually been watching pretty regularly. I just recently found it in the last couple months or so, and that is JPL Flash Comics. This guy has got a great channel. He does lots of cool videos. He does hauls, he does new books that he has coming out, he does mailbags, all kinds of cool stuff. I know one comic book, or one video in particular I was watching, was he did an unboxing of these awesome, just gorgeous DC Comics Legend of Batman books. And I commented, it's like, oh wow, these are amazing. And he wrote back, oh sorry, they're UK exclusives. So that night I cried myself to sleep. So yeah. Anyway, just so you know, even though you love his videos, one day he will break your heart. But anyway, go sub him up. I'll leave a link in the description below. Everybody can go check him out. All right, let's get started. Oh, and the most important part, there will be spoilers. If you don't want spoilers, back out now. Come back later. All right. First up, what do we got this week? We have got a book I've been neglecting the last few months, and that is Green Lanterns 47. I do have to admit that I actually stopped picking it up. There was a storyline before this one. This is the Ghost of the Past storyline. The one before this absolutely sucked, so I was kind of on the fence. And then I started picking up. I grabbed the last couple issues of this, finally caught up on it. And man, actually, first off, look at this gorgeous cover. Oh, isn't that beautiful? I love that DC's doing these like semi-virgin covers. They're really cool. Really enjoyed this storyline, so I'm really having a blast with this. I'm glad my Green Lanterns are back. And the storyline really centered around Jessica Cruz. Little flashback here of her and Simon taking their lantern oath together. She actually got sucked into the power ring and became Power Ring again. Great storyline. It was actually her dealing a lot with her past, the Justice League making an appearance, including John Constantine. And just, if you haven't followed Jessica Cruz, she's traumatized by watching a bunch of her friends get murdered. She had PTSD, locked herself in an apartment for 4 years, and she's really trying to overcome the fear of all this, which made her, I think, absolutely perfect for a lantern, because she has to deal with fear every single day. Oh, I just love it. And this was just her coming to terms and getting past that trauma. And one of the things they touched upon in the storyline is how through sheer willpower she reprogrammed her ring, the actual AI in her ring. And I guess the Green Lantern Corps does not like that, and it's an abomination. And they must go and confront her and retrieve the ring or destroy it. So, great story, a lot of fun. I'm enjoying this storyline. I'm going to keep going. And I was disappointed with the last storyline, so I'm really glad this is picking up, because I love this book. So, definite must grab. Next, from Dark Horse Comics, we have Resident Alien number 2. This is a mini-series. This is the 5th mini-series in this actual, this collection here. And, oh, got a little alien here. The entire storyline is based around this alien. There we go. He crashed on Earth a long time ago, and he's kind of stuck here, so he's sort of blending in. He calls himself Dr. Harry Vanderspiegel. I love that. And he can use like almost like mental powers to block everyone from seeing him. Almost everyone. There's actually a small girl in his town who can see him as his true self. And she drew a picture of him in the last issue to hang in his doctor's office. There you go. She actually can see him. So when last we met him, or we saw him, he was watching television and saw some graffiti in New York that was actually an alien language. And it was a phone number. So he calls the phone number, and the phone number is like, you can read this? And he's like, yes. And they're like, okay, stop talking, get to New York. So he actually travels all the way to New York. And he doesn't meet someone, he thought he was going to meet another person of his species, or another alien, but instead he meets this woman who actually films documentaries. And she wants to take him to show him some alien language for him to translate. It's a really neat story. Like I said, he's a doctor who moonlights as an amateur detective throughout these series. trying to solve crimes and mysteries and stuff. I can't believe I've never heard of this book before because it's really cool. It's a lot of fun. I'm having a blast with it. It's a 2 of 4, so it's 4 issues. Really easy to grab, lots of fun, great read. I would recommend picking it up. Next up, the X-Men Wedding Special #1. I'm sure everyone picked this up this week. You know, I have to come right out and say it. To me, this was kind of blah. It was very lackluster. Wow, yeah. I mean, Chris Claremont, that was the first thing that got me. I'm like, holy crap, Chris Claremont coming back to write the X-Men. And I don't know, it's a whole story of Kitty Pryde getting cold feet and then being talked into marrying Peter. I don't know, it was just, I don't know. It wasn't for me. I'm sure there's some people out there that really enjoyed this. No, not for me. And then I saw that there's 3 stories in here. Oh, and this is where I start to groan because the second story, Boys Night Out, with this god-awful Greg Land artwork. I know there are some people, this is probably going to be the unpopular opinion, but I don't know how the hell this guy still gets work. He's a lazy artist that just copies everything, and I don't know. It doesn't work for me. And to be completely honest, it kind of weirds me out. I mean, it actually makes me feel creepy when I look at his artwork. I don't know. So anyway, again, and I try not to buy anything with Greg Land work on it. So if I saw that, I wouldn't even bought this book to start with, and I probably would have been happy for it. Anyway, meh. Actually, bad stack over there. I'm probably going to take that apart and turn it into gift wrapping or something, which I actually do with old comic books, believe it or not. If I have an old comic book that I have that's just beyond repair and it's trash and crowds, I'll actually take the staples out and use it as gift wrap. It's really awesome. So, hey, upcycling. Anyway, next up from Image, Crude. Now we're back to the awesome stuff here. Issue #2, we saw this gentleman named Peter, and they live in Russia, which is kind of almost a future post-apocalyptic Russia, I'm trying to think. And his son wanted bigger and better things for himself. He didn't want to live the life that his dad lived. So his son travels off to this big city called Blackstone, and he comes back murdered. He never knew that his dad was actually an assassin for the Russian government. So now his dad is traveling into this Blackstone to get revenge, or try to figure out what happened to his son. He's meeting up with there are two different factions that seem to be warring over this place. And the artwork is just so dirty and gritty, which really, really fits this book. I love this. There's his dad just getting ready for war. Not quite sure what he's even smearing on himself there. I think it's just oil, because the book's called Crude. I think it's like an oil processing city or an oil pipeline. The last issue had me hooked. I had to pick this one up as soon as I saw it was available. I think there's going to be a lot of action. There's going to be a lot of intrigue. I think this is just going to be a great, great read all the way around. Look at this back cover. It's just splattered blood, and you got fingerprints in here. It's just a really, really good read. I would recommend anybody pick this up. Just grab it, do it, get it now. And next up, we have, from Marvel Comics, X-Men Red, #4. I opted for the really cool variant cover here by Travis Terrest. Just a headshot of X-23. Great storyline so far. You have Jean Grey, who just wants to save the world. And she has this entire vision of the world. And she's coming up against Cassandra Nova, who is Charles Xavier's sister and a very, very powerful telepath. And she's controlling these people to... she actually went to like a government, summit or committee, and Cassandra Nova had one of the big shots shoot herself in the head, and everybody thought Jean Grey did it. So it's really cool. They're all fugitives right now. The next thing we discover is that, we have Gentle. We have this guy here. is going to be joining the team. As you can see, he makes himself bigger, but at considerable pain to himself. It reminds me a lot of Maul from the Wildcats back in the day, who could make himself larger, but the larger he became, the dumber he became. So Storm was actually attacking the group, but not through mental powers. She actually had a nanite stuck in her brain, which is a mini sentinel who can influence her and give her the ability to seek out mutants. Cassandra Nova is going around and putting these little nanites into major leaders throughout the world, and Forge built them for her because she's actually controlling Forge. Great story, a lot of fun. I would definitely recommend everybody pick this up. And next up from Aftershock Comics, A Walk Through Hell. I just opted for the plain black cover because this is classy and just gives you a complete feel of dread, and just it's ominous when you first look at it and you're like, why the hell is this cover just black? And yeah, so we got it from Aftershock Comics. It's written by Garth Ennis, so you know this is going to be a great story. And it starts off with just this family walking through the mall. Yay. Having a good time, walking through the mall. If anybody's easily disturbed, I would actually suggest you don't look at this next panel. Because, blam. Random shooter walks up, kills the mom and a baby. Look at that. What's really messed up about this is the very first blurb right here on this page, where it says here, later they would come to agree that this was actually the least awful thing to happen. And it's like, where is this book going if that is the least awful thing to happen? Next up, we come up to our FBI agents having a serious nightmare. And the book becomes pretty normal from here on out. They get together, they're meeting, talking about how they're going to a warehouse and they're going to a mansion to inspect some drug dealers and yada yada. You know, pretty straightforward FBI crime story from here on. And then these two agents get the call that their other two guys they sent into the warehouse to inspect never came out. They've been in this warehouse for 9 hours, lost all communication, no idea what's going on. So the police officer sent in the SWAT team. 30 seconds later, the SWAT team comes walking out, goes into their van, and won't open the door. We flash to the SWAT team sitting inside the van. And they're all talking to each other about what is going to happen, and he is coming. And of course, only one logical explanation after that. They all have to kill each other. Or one logical outcome. I mean, wow, what is going on with this book? It's just insane. I cannot wait to read the rest of this. This is just going to be hardcore, I think. But Garth Ennis is an awesome writer. I wasn't expecting anything less. So this is a must grab. Probably out of everything on my book, out of my list this week, this would be the number 2 that everyone should grab. And I'll get to the number 1 later. All right. Then we have from IDW, Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles, number 82. Hey, sorry for that rough cut there. I got the video all done, went to go edit it, and realized that my audio had completely desynced from my video. So by the time my video had ended, I had a black screen with like 30 seconds of audio still running. So I had to come down and actually reshoot the last 13 minutes all over again. So let's get to it. All right, so the Teenage Mutant Turtles number 82. This was actually a viewer request that I start reviewing some Ninja Turtle video or books. And I don't know why I haven't previously. I love the Ninja Turtles. I have a bunch of the old black and white books, especially some of the early first printings. I have a bunch of turtle memorabilia. I love them. I've been a huge fan ever since I was a kid. So here it is. So I'm going to start getting these and reading them because I really enjoy the story. So where we start off here is the Ninja Turtles are entering the Toad Baron's Den of Delights. And they are looking to get the Toad Baron's help. The Toad Baron's this big guy right here. Because they have a feeling the Rat King is up to something and they want to try to find him, and this Toad Baron can help him out. And then we jump to another storyline where we have Baxter Stockman here speaking with Agent Bishop. As you can see, we got Slash back here. Now, I've been out of Turtles for a long time, so I'm not sure. But back in the day, this was Slash, the evil mutant turtle from Dimension X. I don't know if that's still him or not, but hey, I hope so. Anyway, this Agent Bishop's actually in control of Slash. He can actually make him mimic his motions, which is really neat. What else? We got Splinter here, having a little meeting, talking about how they can be the most powerful force in the city, which I think is kind of weird coming from Splinter. So they actually talk the Toad Baron into helping them find the Rat King, and he gives them 6 possible choices to go and talk to. Any one of them could help them find the Rat King. This was a really fun story. I enjoyed it. I want to see where it goes. And yeah, I honestly don't know why I wasn't reading these sooner, so it was a fun ride. Thumbs up from me. Next, the last all-new Wolverine number 35. Oh, that makes me sad. This was a great run, start to finish, issue 1 to issue 35. If you haven't read it, I would definitely recommend picking this up. The last 3 issues were this whole Old Woman Logan story where she jumped, or Old Woman Laura story, where they jumped into the future. She is dying, so she wants to do one last thing, and that's kill Dr. Doom and free Latveria. So that's where this story takes place. She puts together a team with herself and Honey Badger. Oh, this is Honey Badger, holding her as she dies. Maria Hill, who at the end of last issue also died. And we have Miss Marvel, which is weird seeing her with gray hair, but it's so cool. And we have Hawkeye, all part of the team. Oh, we have Wasp, and Wasp is actually inside of the Doombot, controlling it. She shrank herself so small, and now she can't grow big again. If she does, it would tear her apart. I thought that was kind of a neat little twist. Great artwork, great storytelling. I'm sad this series ended, but I am looking forward to the X-23 storyline just because Tamaki is an awesome writer. I became a huge fan when she was writing She-Hulk. I mean, hell, just because of her, I became a fan of She-Hulk. Oh, here's a great scene where Laura is coming against Dr. Doom. He's like, even gods have tried to kill me, and he's pointing to Thor's hammer. And he's like, you know, talking about how she was evil and assassin and she worked for him. And she's like, I'm not that person anymore, and let's see how far I've come. And she goes to lift the hammer. Gabby's just staring at her, waiting for it. And then, nothing. But Gabby's reaction is like, damn, that would have been awesome. And yes, it really would have. And we go to all the heroes that Dr. Doom has captured, and everyone believes are dead. And they free them all. It was a great, great story. Had a lot of fun with this. Like I said, I'm sad this one's over, but I am looking forward to X-23. Although I don't think it should have the X-23 name, but, you know, we'll see where it goes from there. These are easy to get now, especially in trade form. I would definitely recommend everybody read this. All right, and the last book this week is our oddly shaped comic book. I mean, seriously, let's do that. And look at this. Whose idea was this? But I think they did it because it's in letterbox format. I kid you not. I mean, the book is actually read this direction. Now, this is Barrier number 3 from Image Comics. The first 2 issues came out last week. I picked up the first issue through Free Comic Book Day and was absolutely blown away. I finished the book, I sat down with it laying in front of me, staring off into space, and actually said out loud, what the hell did I just read? Half the book is in Spanish, so you have no idea what's happening, but you can make it out because of the masterful artwork. This is the storytelling, which comes to issue number 3. So we have our heroes, who are Oscar, who traveled up from Honduras, and he ended up with Libby. Here's a little quick shot of Libby. Libby is a rancher in Texas, and Oscar ends up on her land, and they are both abducted on an alien spacecraft, which then takes us to issue number 2, where they're on this alien spacecraft, and they're trying to figure out what the hell is going on, which then brings us to issue number 3. First 2 issues, each one are in Spanish, so I have no idea what's going on. Issue number 3 has no words at all. I kid you not. Beginning to end, there are no words. And it is all, the whole entire story is just completely told through the artwork. And the artwork, like I said, is so masterful. It's easy to actually get the story out of this. Oh, here we go. Let's get to it. It's so amazing. And you can see that Libby and Oscar right here, their ears are bleeding, so their eardrums are blown out. That's why they're talking, but they can't hear each other. So I thought it was a great little twist. I look at the expressions in their faces. It's so, God, the artwork is amazing. If you haven't read this yet, it is possible you can still get the free Comic Book Day issue at some of your LCSs. I would recommend doing it if you don't want to shell out the cash for it. Like I said, I picked up the first issue for free at my LCS. Loved it so much, I bought the retail. I actually just repurchased the first issue because I want to support this book. You know, it's amazing. And all I can think of is, you know, has Brian Vaughn captured lightning in a bottle for a second time? You know, who knows? But this is a 5-issue series. It's coming out 5 weeks in a row. I would recommend getting it. Up to 3 now, 2 more weeks to go. So anyway, those are my books for the week. So let's do a quick recap. Let's start with the blah, and that's the X-Men Wedding Special #1. You know, if it was just Claremont on this, this book really would just be kind of in the blah, but right now it's kindling. I mean, seriously, that's how much I dislike the Greg Land artwork in this thing. That's why you haven't seen Domino or any of the Astonishing X-Men books recently in my weekly vids, because I will not buy anything with his name on it. So there's that. I don't even know what I'm gonna do with that book. Anyway, and then we got Barrier #3. Beautiful, beautiful book. I recommend everybody grab this. All New Wolverine #35. Again, this is the last All New Wolverine. Grab every single issue you can find of this book. It's absolutely amazing. I think the only issues that are a little hard to find right now are issue 1. You're going to pay anywhere from $10 to $30 depending on the variant cover you pick up. And issue #2 is the first appearance of Honey Badger / Gabby. And wow, that book now is skyrocketing in price. I believe the cheapest I've seen are like $50 to $75 for near mint copies. And if you get a 9.8 CGC, you're looking at $200, $250. And then for some reason, the second printing of that book is like twice that price. It's insane, but you can still grab them on the cheap through trades. And then we have Ninja Turtles #82. It's Ninja Turtles. It is just fun. A Walk Through Hell #1. This book is just put out to mess with your mind. And I cannot wait to see where Garth Ennis is going with this story. X-Men Red #4. Again, great X-Men title that's out right now. I would definitely recommend picking this up. Crude #2. This is a great revenge thriller. I would recommend this for anyone who loves those type of revenge books, akin to like Sin City. Resident Alien and Alien in New York. Again, just fun. It really is. And Green Lanterns #47. Back on track with this book. Awesome read again. I would suggest anybody pick. I believe this storyline started off at issue #44, maybe 45. Great jumping off point if you haven't read Green Lantern before. So, like always, these are my books. These are my opinions. Your mileage may vary. And I want to thank everybody for watching. All my subscribers, you guys are awesome. I love you all. Man, the outpouring and the response that I've been getting to this channel is just insane. It's beautiful. I love it. If you're new to the channel, thank you for watching. Stick around. Hit the little CV over there. Make sure you subscribe. Hit the little bell up there. It gives you notifications whenever I got new videos coming out. And yeah, the hands are staying limber for the Olympics, by the way. Anyway, thank you for watching, everyone, and take it easy.